let's talk a little bit about the nitty-gritty and the details of implementation, as well as sort of what features and how this is all impacting your business. To start, once you selected Expedite Commerce, what was the process like from there? How did you get the ball rolling with the project?
So to start, Expedite Commerce came on site with their team, and we brought all the right people from our organization, which was a pretty broad set. And in fact, including some of the execs, we were going to make a material investment. It was going to change the experience of our employees as well as our customers and our partners. It was central to the business. There was nothing, bigger that we were going to do. So they had an interest in this, and so we brought people in the room, and we started the discussion about, led by Expedite Commerce. We started the discussion around data. And our business processes, the as-is environment. And we were walked through that. And in the course of that, you knew that you were coming up on something that was, okay, this is going to be a difference maker. I don't know quite why yet. Expedite Commerce was walking us through that process. They understood where they were going from here, but they wouldn't let us go beyond that until we had it addressed to a sufficient degree that they knew kind of where it was going to lay out to be. So we started down that process, started that process, and we found that through the course of it, we had elaborated our business processes and enough of our data that we understood what are the things that we're going to have to do as it relates to our data, what are the things we're going to have to do as it relates to changing certain business processes.
And this wasn't a project that you wanted to take 4 years to implement, right? I mean, you talked a little bit about how time to implement was really an important deciding factor in choosing Expedite Commerce. What was that like in terms of the timeline to implement?
Like a lot of projects of this size and magnitude and impact for an organization, we took a long time to get to the decision. But once we came to the decision, which was really at the start of February of 2017, by the time we were done, it was less than 6 months.
Wow.
And we had product that we could present not only to our internal customers, but meaning our employees, the customer service department, as well as present to our end customers and our partners. And really, what I'll say is that the duration was not a function of what Expedite Commerce could deliver. It was really more around our data and just recognizing the further we got down the path, where we needed to make adjustments in our own data. And that really has been the longest pole in the tent.
What was the strategy that you used to actually roll out the Expedite Commerce system to your employees?
Well, so, originally when we got started, at the beginning of the project, we said, okay, come this date, Big Bang happens, right? We're going to go live on this date. We'll go live on this date internally, and then on this date, we're going to go live with all of our customers and partners. That's where we started. And as we went down the path a bit further, we got into user acceptance testing, or UAT. And when we did that, there were a couple of the customer service agents that were well-seasoned customer service agents, and they understood, they had helped through UAT, and they knew how the system worked. So what we concluded was, in our particular situation, it worked for customer service agents to continue using the old process, while these two gentlemen started using the new process with Expedite Commerce. What that let us do was to refine the processes and understand where we needed to make some changes. So we made those changes, and then fast forward a couple of weeks, and we brought a few more on. And so now we had about half the team using it, and so on. And we did that until the entire team was using it. Once the entire team was using it and gaining fantastic efficiencies, no longer were the cubes need to be littered with the yellow Post-its. Those Post-its are coming down day by day. More and more of those Post-its will come down as they gain more comfort with using the new system. But then we use the same sort of methodology for our customers. Rather than going Big Bang, and what we've learned from this, it's not only for this project, but for other projects, we've learned from this that Big Bang can create some challenges. To the extent that you can roll it out a little at a time, gain some learning and adjust, and then when you finally do get to your entire population, you've got something that everyone's going, wow, this is really, really cool.
I'd love to hear a little bit about the impact that Expedite Commerce CPQ has had on your business, both from a sort of big picture, qualitative standpoint, as well as any metrics or data that you could share.
Well, the efficiencies have been fantastic. Now that we do have it rolled out to our customers and our partners, we're getting 3,000 to 4,000 orders per month that are taking place through an Amazon-esque experience that our customers and our partners love. We still have some improvements that we're looking at to do in that space, but it's having a material impact. They love it because this is the way business today is done, and they finally don't have to pick up a phone and call us to order a part. So 3,000 to 4,000, but then you can imagine by extension that's 3,000 to 4,000 orders that are not being entered by a customer service agent. So that, from a customer's perspective, it's better. From an internal perspective, well, it's better. And then for those customers who do prefer to continue to call us, our customer service agents now have a way that they don't have to hunt, for that specific yellow sticky that's on their cube, in their cube someplace. The system does it for them, right? If the part the customer needs that they think they need is an ABC, but it's been superseded by an improved part, an XYZ, the system knows that. The system knows who the customer is and what their discount level is and what their entitlements are. And so it's from an internal perspective, there's a lot of the tribal knowledge stuff that we've been able to sort of to discard. What that means is that to bring on a new customer service agent, rather than it taking them 6 months to come up to speed, they can be up to speed in 3 or 4 weeks.
It's incredible. That's a huge, huge difference from an internal and external standpoint. So big picture going forward, I understand this was sort of a phased rollout in the early phases, even though the numbers just are incredible to hear even at this point. What does it look like, big picture, once you've finished sort of the next stages of this implementation?
The next stages will let customers go online and identify their equipment. Let's say a Schwinn indoor bike. If they want to have, their colors are the great Salesforce colors. If they want to have a blue bike with a particular color blue, not just any blue, not just off of our palette, but they want their specific colors and they want their logo to be in this place on the bike. They want the seat a different color, various things like that. Well, as you can imagine, when you're warranting that product for, let's say, 10 years, 9 years from now, that customer has a challenge and they need to replace a part. Well, we need to know that serial number had certain characteristics. And what color blue was that painted? So that when the customer orders that part online, they're going to get a part that has the right color on it. So sort of stamping that serial number with what, the specifics about that, the CPQ specifics about that product, and understanding that so that you can support that product for 10 years to come becomes a big deal. And so what we see is getting to that point where the customer can not only configure their stuff the exact way they want, but we know that we can then support that for the coming 10 years.
That sounds like a big vision and one that'll be really beneficial to the customer.
Yeah.
Just sort of wrapping up, in terms of your feelings toward Expedite Commerce, I mean, obviously the features were really important in this process and they've done great things for the business, but as a partner, what has the relationship with Expedite Commerce really meant to you and your company?
That's a question that I'm glad to answer. I feel very confident that Expedite Commerce is, they're an organization that isn't just about selling licenses. They're interested in the success of our business, and that's an easy thing to say. And I know that there's a lot of companies out there that would say the same thing, but then there's action behind the words. And the actions that we've seen in my experience, and again, the reason I'd be willing to come down and have a conversation about Expedite is because our experience has been second to none. In terms of the vendor list that I would identify, and I know a lot of people have their favorite vendors, but the list that I would identify, I'd have several. We've got the good fortune of having 4 or 5 or 6 really strong vendors, but none of them are as close to the vest, not just for IT, but for our organization, as Expedite Commerce has been.